What's up, YouTube? So there's been some new developments in the case of the viral suspended driver up there in Michigan. You know, I had to wear my Ohio State shirt for this one because Michigan, y'all got to take an L on this one. But so in the case of Corey Harris, this guy, he went viral because he appeared in court on Zoom for a case that involved a suspended license. And unfortunately for him, while he was coming onto the Zoom call, he was actually driving. So as you can see here, it's the classic thing. I'm pulling in right now. So by now you guys have seen this clip here.
People versus Corey Harris.
I'm still on behalf of Pittsfield Township.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Tate for Mr. Harris, who should be present via Zoom.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now.
Wait. You stationary?
I'm pulling in right now at this second. Yes, I am.
All right. What are we doing?
Your Honor, we are respectfully requesting an adjournment in this matter, up possibly 2 to 4 weeks if the court would allow.
Okay. So maybe I don't understand something. This is a driving while license suspended?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And he was just driving. And he didn't have a license.
Is with the charges, Your Honor, yes.
No, I'm looking at his
Yes.
record. He doesn't have a license. He's suspended and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
So that's the clip that went viral all over the internet. And so everybody thought this dude was just a complete idiot, you know, and it was all his fault. But then it later came out and was revealed that there might have been some type of clerical error. So I had saw a clip. He had retained a new attorney who basically was saying like his reputation had been ruined and they got it all wrong. It was a clerical error with the Secretary of State and all that. And this is what they had to say on a show that they went on.
Tonight, 7 News Detroit reporter Kimberly Craig tells us Harris believes he's paying an unfair price for an honest mistake.
It has literally been pure OD hell. I've been assaulted. I've been followed. I've been laughed at. I've been ridiculed. I have been disrespected.
Corey Harris is planning to appear back in an Ann Arbor courtroom Wednesday with a new defense attorney, Dion Webster Cox.
My client doesn't want to go out here breaking the law. He's a law-abiding citizen. So now that we know what's going on, we're taking the steps to go forward to correct the problem, to put him in a situation where his license is in proper order.
I don't even go on the internet anymore. I deleted my Facebook, my Instagram, Twitter. I deleted everything.
Harris said he had no idea he was driving on a suspended license back in October when he was first ticketed by Pittsfield Township Police. He thought the suspension that was tied to unpaid child support had been lifted 2 years ago.
What was your reaction when he told you, so you have a suspended license?
I looked at him like, you got to be joking, because all of this was supposed to have been taken care of already.
So of course, now after watching that, you know, you have some sympathy for this guy. You thinking like, man, they made this guy spend 2 nights in jail, you know, and he was really good. He was really selling, and I believed it. And you know what? Even CBS Morning Show, they came out and said, look, we thought we, you know, had this thing down pat. We thought this guy was driving on a suspended license. We laughed at the guy. But one of the reporters said, you know, you kind of got to hold your judgment. So he even fooled them for a second, because there's a catch. But you got to understand one thing. He was in the courtroom of Judge Cedric Simpson. And, you know, he's going viral right now on YouTube because he don't really play around.
How bad do you want to make this get, young lady?
Can you say that again?
How bad do you want to make this get? Because if you want to take this thing and make it the worst experience you ever had in your life, I'll be more than happy to indulge you.
I don't.
So whose rules are we going to play by?
Yours, Your Honor.
Absolutely.
So I was watching YouTube today, and up pops this video where he was brought back into court, and the judge wanted to talk to him because I guess he found some things, and there's a catch to this whole thing. So let's see what the judge found.
I know, counsel, you've been before me before.
Absolutely.
I know it is not coming from you, but you also know how I am.
I do.
And the thing is that if for whatever reason, the one time in my life I was wrong, I will say it, and did. But when I'm not wrong, and when people are not to blame, then it also needs to be said. So I will try to get through this as quick as I possibly can. But I will tell you, first of all, with any reference to your client having had a license on that day, and some indication or misunderstanding as to whether or not he had a license. Let me make it very clear, based upon what the court looked at, he has never had a Michigan license, ever, and has never had a license in the other 49 states and commonwealths that form up this great union. He has never had a license.
So you saw that, and so it turns out this fool never even ever had a license. And I'm gonna show you here in a second more of the courtroom proceedings, but he only had an ID from what the judge has said, but he never had a license to be suspended at all. So that's the catch. So let's see what else the judge has to say in reference to this matter.
In point of fact, when they suspended his license, and what people don't understand, when they suspended his license in Saginaw, they don't suspend the license. They suspend the privilege to drive in this state. Hence, for example, if he had had a Kentucky license, he would be able to drive everywhere that Kentucky would allow him to drive. He just couldn't drive in Michigan because his privileges had been restricted. I know you know that, but that wasn't at all said. But it doesn't matter because he didn't have a license. Ever. His license was, his driving privileges, better stated, were unsuspended in 2022. That required Mr. Harris to do something. He didn't do it. Therefore, that friend of the court was under no obligation to send anything to the Secretary of State. Now, I hated that I had to look at all of this, but when there's a question as to what I did, I'm going to look at everything to make sure that what I did was all in order. There's then an indication from that because that wasn't sent, there was a direct attack on Michigan's Department of Secretary of State's office, saying that the Secretary of State was somehow at fault. Let me tell you something. Secretary of State did what they were supposed to do. And in point of fact, they did nothing because they hadn't gotten anything from the court because Mr. Harris had not paid the reinstatement. This week, or the latter part of last week, once he paid that, Saginaw friend of the court did what they should do, and they sent it. Immediately, based upon the information that I have, the Secretary of State did what they do every day. They took that suspension off of his driving record, and he was then unsuspended. And then your client did what he needed to do with reference to the Secretary of State and paid a reinstatement. So the information at the time that I had, that Pittsfield Department of Public Safety had, was all correct at the time of both Pittsfield stop as well as the May 15th day. It was all correct. There was no error by anybody. The It's because Mr. Harris, on December 28th of 2023, do you know where you were?
December 28th, 23.
23rd.
All right, so here's where it really gets good. So he's going to catch him on this one little point here. But then the last point that you need to wait around for, that's the best part ever. So hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And let's finish out this video here.
2023.
I know I was laid up from my
You
accident.
were at the Secretary of State's office. And you were at the Secretary of State's office because you redid and got your new Michigan ID. I have the date. That's the date you did it. December 28th, 2023. You did. And so that you also know, and in all fairness to counsel, because I don't know if counsel knows this or not, the way I know that he's never had a license is because May 3rd, 1990, he was 19 at the time. May 3rd, 1999, he applied for his first Michigan ID. Counsel knows, so I do. You cannot have both. You either have an ID or you have a license. One of the two. He has religiously every year gotten a new ID. And so he knows that he doesn't have a license. And quite frankly, I just wish he would have said that at the beginning. And all of this hoopla could have been just put all aside. And we all go through the process as we do with all of the people coming here to try to get him his license back. But his falsehoods, misstatements are not going to fare him well in this court.
So we reached the finale on this thing. So go ahead and hit the like button as we go into this last clip. And it's going to blow your mind what the judge has found throughout this whole thing. And then we'll go and wrap up the video, and I'll see you in the next one.
Counsel, you probably didn't know this, and I wasn't sure where the prosecutor was going to bring. He's got a warrant.
Oh, no, I did not know.
Yes, he has a warrant for his arrest. A bench warrant out of
Ellen Park.
Ellen Park. Mr. Allen.
24th District Court.
Okay.
The shocking thing about it is for a driving while license suspended that he didn't take care of.